Hey Haley, how you doing?
Good. How about you?
All good.
All right, Haley,
All
whenever you're
set
ready.
there?
Yep, go for it.
Perfect. We would like to welcome Hayden Buckley to the virtual media room here at the Sanderson Farms Championship. Hayden, welcome back. This is where you made your first PGA Tour start. What's it like to be back here?
It's nice, I started here 3 years ago, right as I turned pro. It was, it was a tough. I think it was later in the year. It was a little colder. Uh, a lot of rain was going on during the week, so it was a tough start to my pro career. But I did make the cut. I think it was a huge jump, for a confidence perspective. Staying AM all summer, waiting to turn pro, going through Q school for Web.com at the time, but now Corn Ferry, and it was huge to make a cut just to get that confidence. And sure enough, a week later, I missed at second stage, so the confidence kind of got hit there real quick, and I didn't know what to do. But it's nice to be back in the home state. The course is perfect. Everybody's doing such a good job with this tournament. So I had a ton of fans 3 years ago, so I can only imagine how many are coming out this year.
Yeah, do you expect to have a lot of family and friends following along?
Oh, for sure. I've got a lot of texts for tickets, and I told them to. I can't get as many tickets as I need. I don't think it's possible, but it's going to be great. I grew up 3 hours north of here in Tupelo, Mississippi. Uh, it's just great to have a professional event in Mississippi. We really don't have anything. We have a few minor league baseball teams around. I know there's one in Jackson. I've got a friend that actually plays for the Mississippi Braves close by. But it's just nice to have this level of golf, this level of sport come to a city like Jackson and a state like Mississippi. So, there's 5 Mississippians in the field, which is even better. I think that's got to be the most in a long time, which is awesome. And I know all of them really well. So it's just great for the state. It says a lot about our junior programs. The Mississippi Golf Association is something that, really changed my life, gave me the opportunity to play golf. So if not for them, I'd probably still be pursuing baseball, which I played my whole life. I owe a lot to them, and I played a lot of junior tournaments on this course. So it's nice to, have this as a career and be playing back on a course where I have so many memories and so much success.
Does that add a sense of pressure that this is kind of like a home game in your home state with a lot of fans and support that will be watching you?
Yeah, I mean, there is pressure there. Obviously, you want to play well. There's people that have already reached out and said, hey, please make the weekend so I can make it because they're working all week. So, playfully, they give me that. But, it's the same as every week. You want to play a weekend. Napa, I didn't play well. Felt comfortable. Luckily, I've played in three PGA Tour events, maybe 4 now with Napa. So I feel comfortable playing the events. The hole's the same size. Everything's the same, and all the pairings as a rookie, you're playing with the Corn Ferry guys. I'm playing with 2 guys, I think this week that I play with all year. So the comfort's there, everything's there. It's just a matter of playing well, and that's just how golf is. So you want to play well. Obviously, you want a Mississippian to be close to the lead on Sunday. Hopefully that's me. You want to give the fans somewhat what you feel like they want. I've heard it from a lot of guys. They want to be here late Sunday. So hopefully we can give them that chance. And, if not, we just keep pushing. My goal this year was just to be in this tournament. No matter what it was, I was going to play here. I knew I was going to play here. And that's all I could think about all year.
And yeah, as a rookie, what goals do you have for the season?
Obviously keeping the card's a huge goal. I don't really make goals long term. I'm not really a long-term goal guy. I'm more of a daily goal guy. So, on the Corn Ferry, I was thinking about, how can I stay healthy? I've had issues in the past in college where, I sat out months just from not taking care of my body, a few unfortunate injuries. So there's a couple daily goals that I set just to prepare myself to play out here for a long time. A lot of the guys you play with are in their 30s, early 40s, even older. So, if I want to be that guy that's still out here playing at 40, then I have to do a lot of the things throughout the day to stay healthy. So I don't really have long-term goals. Obviously, everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to compete on the weekend. But I think if we're looking at something, it's just to play a lot of weekends. I had a lot of really good weekends on the Corn Ferry Tour. A few that I made the cut on the number and finished 10th, around 10th place. So if we can have some decent Thursday and Fridays, I feel really good coming into the weekends.
And from your first start in 2018 to now, what would you say the biggest difference is in your game?
Maturity, obviously. 3 years later, you got a lot of maturity, but I have a lot more control over the ball. I think back then I had a two-way miss that I just fought, and if I was lucky enough to not have a two-way miss, I played well. I think Thursday I shot 75 and came back with, 5 under on Friday. Figured it out, obviously, that Friday, but now I've got a control over the driver. I think I was second in driving on the Korn Ferry last year. Greens and regulation are way up, so I got a lot of opportunities, but my short game's really come around as well, making a lot of putts. It's hard to shoot 5, 6, 7, 8 under par without making putts. So, college, I was a guy that hit a lot of greens and made no putts, but now it's kind of come to I have a lot more confidence because of the putter. I feel like I can attack pins when I need to because I'm chipping it better. I'm making more putts from 5, 6, 7 feet. That frees up the iron game, frees up the driver, and all of a sudden we're making 7, 8 birdies around. And that's Korn Ferry Tour. It is there are some differences out there, a lot more wedges, a lot more accessible par fives. But I've played this course. The par fives are pretty accessible. I love playing par fives well, and it's softened up a little bit. I expected it to be a little bit firmer out here, but I think we've gotten a little bit of rain, so it's going to be an interesting course. The greens are perfect, like they are every year, so it's just kind of a matter of keeping it out of the rough, which is really nasty, and hopefully we can hit a lot of greens like we do.
Thank you. With that, I'm going to open it up to others. We're going to go over to Trey Monagru with WLBT Oxford.
Hey, Hayden, you kind of touched on this earlier, but being a Mississippi kid, playing on the tour in a Mississippi event, how much more special does that make it just beyond playing in a tour event?
I mean, yeah, it's everything. I don't think a ton of people think of Mississippi as a golf powerhouse. They talk about the kids from Texas and Florida, and probably the states with a little better weather, but it really shows not just me, but the other guys that are playing this event. It shows how strong we've been in the last couple of years. I know growing up, we had a few kids, go to Alabama, go off to big schools, but it's special. You play a junior golf tournament here. You play the junior pro-am. I think it was at Annandale at the time when I played, right before they transitioned to Country Club of Jackson. But it shows that what they do in Mississippi, the programs they have in place are setting kids up to have this opportunity, which is huge. 10 years ago, if you told me, hey, you're going to play a junior pro-am at the Sanderson Farms Championship, 10 years later you're going to be playing it as a pro, I'd have thought you're crazy. I really loved baseball growing up, and without having those opportunities in Mississippi, I probably wouldn't have pursued golf like I did. It's so good for the state. I know I had a pro-am Q&A last night about, with talking about charity, how much money they raise for the hospital. So it's more than just, showcasing Mississippi's talent, showcasing how beautiful the course is. It's a lot of good things for charities and for the hospital, and it's just a special place. I grew up so close to here. I have family here. It's just so nice to show them what I do for a living, because I spend a lot of time away from them. I live in Florida now, like most golfers do, and I never really get to come back home. So it's nice to show people what I've been working so hard for so long.
Is there a bond between you and the other Mississippi guys playing this weekend?
Yeah, we all grew up together. I know, two of the guys that graduated, Chad Ramey, Davis Riley. We played a little bit in college together. Andy Ogletree, I believe, is the other one. He played at Georgia Tech. We grew up playing as well, and then Cohen won our state am, so we give a spot to the state am winner here, which is something that started after I was playing the state ams, which I was a little upset about. But it's great for junior golf. It's great for amateur golf, and he's a rising star that's going to be out here just like me here in a couple years. And I love all of them. They're great kids. I grew up playing with them, so it's just great to see all of us find a way out here. It shows. There's other kids too that could be in this event. I think it shows them that their time will come soon, and it's nice. You are out here to compete, and personally, I don't I'm never too close to anybody. I do like to kind of do my own thing, stay in a hotel by myself. Might play a practice round with them every once in a while, but I'm a pretty solo person. I like to stay alone and just kind of keep my head down. But you go back to childhood. These guys were there. It was great playing against them. Me and Chad Ramey actually grew up 30 minutes apart, so there's a lot of memories as kids, and to now see us doing this as a career, it's awesome. So, you root for them. At the same time, you want to beat them, but I think they all understand how important this is. All 5 of us being here, it's really important for this state.
You mentioned how you kind of like to be alone. How tough does that make this week when you come back home? And I'm sure there's family and friend obligations that you have to do, but you're also obviously preparing for a huge weekend in your life.
Yeah, it's hard. I've had a couple requests for dinner that are hard to turn down sometimes, but I have my routines. I do what I do on the course, off the course, and I like to get my the same amount of sleep I can every night, and at the same time you enjoy being home. It's something that doesn't happen much, and I know for a fact that I probably won't be back here until Christmas, and then after that, I probably won't see Mississippi for a long time. So, I was actually home back last week after Napa. I got to spend a whole week at home in Tupelo, so I got all the excitement. I think there were some people that were pretty excited for me, just making it out here. So I got a lot of that out of my system last week. But at the same time, it's special. It's something that knowing you have that support. It's something I think about a lot. There's times where you're stuck in Florida and you're not sure what's going to happen next. When COVID hit, I was sitting around, not sure where to go next, and you got a support system like that. It's awesome. So it's going to be fun. I don't know how many are going to show up on Thursday, but I know Friday is going to be pretty crazy. And if we can make it to a weekend, I imagine it's going to be pretty loud out here. It was loud 3 years ago when it was 50 degrees and raining. So the weather looks pretty good. I think besides Thursday, it might rain. So 75, 80 degrees and sunny, I think it's going to be a pretty fun time for everybody. I think it's great for the tournament. It's great for people back home just to, not just watch me, but watch other guys and see how much good golf there is out here. Because TV shows it, but it's something else when you watch it in person.
Last one for me. You said you had a friend on the Mississippi Braves. Who was that?
His name's Trey Harris. He's an outfielder. He went to the University of Missouri with me, so he was a good buddy of mine. I played threw a lot of BP to him in the Missouri bullpens, and spent a lot of time at baseball games watching him. So I think they just clinched the Double-A. They just clinched something last night, I think. So he's doing well. I know it's been a journey for him too. So it's been cool to watch him kind of pursue my childhood dream of playing pro baseball. That's kind of what I wanted to do until golf came along. So it's cool to watch him do that. And I tell him all the time, I'm really glad I chose I chose golf because I'm 5'11", 180 pounds, and I couldn't hit. I couldn't do anything very well. So I was a pitcher and I couldn't throw it very fast. So I'm glad I didn't go down that route, but I'm glad he's having success there too.
Yeah, well, I was going to say because they won the Double-A South Championship over the weekend. I was wondering if you talked to him yet about that.
Yeah, I think it might have been Monday. It might have been Monday night. I kind of wish I would have came down and watched it. But I have seen him play a few times, and it's pretty cool to watch close friends of yours do the same thing you're doing on a different level or in a different sport. And have success, and hopefully one day he'll make it to Atlanta or whatever team he's a part of.
Thank you, Hayden.
Thank you.
Now over to Adam Woodward with Golf Week.
Hey, Hayden, appreciate you taking the time, bud. 2 quick ones from me. What's the transition been like from the Korn Ferry Tour to the PGA Tour? I know you're only 2 events in, but what's that been like so far? Does it make it a little easier that you get to come home for it? Has it been a little different, or what's it been like these last 2 weeks?
Somebody told me there's really no difference out here, except for a couple zeros on the paychecks. About the only thing that's different. So, everything feels the same. I'd say some of the conversations on the range might be different. I heard guys talking about retirement in Napa. You don't really hear that on the Korn Ferry Tour too much. But yeah, it hasn't been a ton different. I think the Korn Ferry Tour does such a good job preparing us for this. Obviously it is tougher. The courses are, I would say, slightly easier at times. The scores feel like they're a lot deeper. But for the most part, they do a pretty good job of getting you ready for pro-ams, getting you ready for, doing clinics, doing all these things. I had a Q&A last night, a sponsor function. So, I'm ready for those things. It's not like they're coming out of nowhere. Just like, doing interviews, doing anything, they prepare you really well. So it's nothing new. It's nothing crazy. Napa for me wasn't I didn't play well, but Napa was not wow, this is the first event. Let's kind of be in shock. It was just, this is another tournament. I just came off of, 2 out of 3 weeks in the finals playing some of the best golf of my life at some pretty tough golf courses. I think, Evansville is one of the toughest golf courses I've seen, and I've played, I played Torrey for the U.S. Open. I played the Honda 2 years ago. Obviously played this tournament, but that Evansville is pretty tough for the Korn Ferry Finals, and I made it look pretty easy. I played really well. I had a lot of confidence. So there's not a ton difference. It's just now you're here. If you want to stay here, you got to keep playing well. It's that sense of urgency, I think, is something I lacked last year. I won to start the year in February, but kind of got too comfortable and didn't really, didn't feel the same for about 2 months. So I think not falling back into that too much of a comfort level, and kind of feeling like, hey, we're still fighting for a job. The last few weeks on Korn Ferry are different. It was you saw it. Less guys were talking to you. It wasn't as friendly as it could have been in the past, and everybody knew like their job was on the line. Whether that's going to the PGA Tour or keeping your card on the Korn Ferry Tour, guys were feeling the pressure. So I think just keeping that urgency, and just keeping your head down is the biggest thing for me. I don't like to get too much into social media. I deleted Instagram off my phone, right before playoffs. I still tweet, and I have my girlfriend Instagrams for me. So if I need to, I reach out there. So it's I just like to keep my head down and keep to myself. So I think I'm ready for this level. It's just the game has to be there, and hopefully we can start it this week and get on a roll. I'm a pretty streaky player as well, so hopefully I can get on a hot streak and keep playing.
Last one for you. If you ask any of the tour guys who have played out here, they just absolutely gush over the course. Like Peter Malnati said yesterday that they're some of the best greens in the world. I know you kind of briefly talked about it earlier, but can you expand a little bit on what makes this place so special and why it's a great golf course?
Yeah, actually, Peter's one of my few guys I play practice rounds with now out here. I played with him out here 3 years ago. Another Missouri guy. So he's been great for me, but we both agreed. We're looking at the course, and we both agreed it's even better than 3 years ago. Obviously, the time of year we're playing is pretty much the best time to be out here in Mississippi. The greens are perfect. I think they were a little softer than we expected, but that's a Monday and a Tuesday for you. I played on Tuesday morning with them, so I think it's going to be perfect by this weekend. I think the greens are they're challenging, but they're fair. I think there's nothing that's too impossible out there, but you do have to be careful. I think honestly the hardest part will be the rough. I had a lie on number 8 in the rough where I could barely find my ball, and I took a wedge. I had 140 yards and just took a wedge trying to chip it out and barely advanced it. So gave me a little bit of U.S. Open vibe, but on a different level. I'm a guy that hits a lot of fairways, so I'm hoping that I don't have to deal with the rough too much. But I think if you don't catch good lies in the rough, it can be really tough. It's hard to roll the ball up around the greens. There's a lot of grain. So it's one of those. It's almost the opposite of Silverado last week or 2 weeks ago in Napa. Everything was firm, rolling out a lot. Here, you got to hit the ball well, and you got to hit it in the right places to have success. So I'm interested to see kind of how the scores are and how people play it. But I think if the weather holds off, it's going to be a perfect tournament. They just do such a good job. Steve Gent does an incredible job running this tournament. Obviously giving me the spot 3 years ago. He's been huge he's been a huge part of my success, and hopefully this tournament can keep going for as long as I'm here and as long as I can keep watching it. So it's exciting to be here. It's exciting to have such a beautiful golf course to play on. So I'm hoping a lot of fans can see just how beautiful, how much hard work they put into the course.
Thanks, Hayden. Appreciate it. Good luck this week.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
It was a pleasure talking to you today. Thank you for taking the time,
Yeah,
and
thank you.
we wish you all the luck this week.
Thanks a lot.